Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day. Happy Tuesday to you, March 25th. Here's the daily frame. About 3 minutes to go until the open of the New York session. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. Guys, we have a very strong morning here again after this big up day yesterday, big gap move, as you know, over the weekend into Australia, and we've been basically up ever since. And this morning is no exception. We have broken yesterday's high on the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Dow. We have up days and bullish bodies. Yesterday, we reclaimed, in other words, closed above the 21 EMA on the S&P and on the Dow. We didn't close above the 21 yesterday on the NASDAQ, but looking fairly strong here this morning, at least coming into the open. On the two sisters, guys, we are or have been challenging the two standard deviations in the European session coming in. And now selling down a little bit into the pre-open, guys. We got about 2 minutes to go before we open. We'll see if that continues here or not. This is my trading grid, guys, with daily 30-minute, 1-minute chart on the right-hand side. Dropping down here, this is the biggest candle we've seen quite a while. In fact, all through Europe, we never saw a candle that size. 929 almost here this morning. Rounding over a little bit here on the 30-minute chart, guys. I'm going to put in a temporary zone marker right here, a zone in the making, two equal body highs, a big top wick, and then rejecting down. And now we have broken two prior 30-minute candles so far. We'll see if that continues down here or if we firm up and continue higher. This is a fairly key zone here, guys, on the 30-minute chart, going all the way back to where the zone was formed, and then that precipitated a very large sell-off that really began after the weekend into the Australian session, and then sold down very big on the Monday after the Friday where that zone was put into place. I'm going to bring you over to the side so you can see where this fits. Right there, guys. Before we even got there here in the UK session, we are selling down. How many points do we have here in this range? Well, let's take a look. We're looking at about 100 points or so right there. It doesn't mean we're going to fill that by any stretch of the imagination. S&P looks very similar. There's the NASDAQ. There's the S&P. There's the NASDAQ. I will show you guys Germany was very strong in the German session, the European session, which we're still in. And there's the UK, guys, 30-minute chart just loading up there, also very strong. Sometimes I'll take a look at those when we're at key turning points here, or potential transition areas in the broad market, to see what the rest of the world is thinking as well. We are now open in New York, guys. There's the first 1-minute candle. I'll bring you back in a moment and we will see what happens next. And the 1-minute candle is done, guys. So the open range for the NASDAQ is 21.25 points. Kind of an understated open range given the move this morning. S&P, guys, 4-point range for the first 1-minute candle. There's not a whole lot going on here in the actual open of New York. I'm going to wait for a bunch of stuff to happen here, guys, before doing anything, of course. Be very patient here as we watch this thing develop. Lots of meandering and winding here in the pre-market, guys. There's that big shift down, but that's been pretty much erased. Actually, fairly completely erased. You'll see that we have a negative moving average configuration, guys, coming into the open here. I certainly won't be jumping on longs just because we happen to have an up day here. This is actually a fairly extended move given the context of that sell down here, guys. Actual technical correction, more than 10% drawdown here from the high, which is actually back here. We do have news, guys, at 10 a.m. That's in 25 minutes. New home sales. Dropping down here, guys, below on the S&P, still stuck in the open range, though, on the NASDAQ. We are above VWAP. This is what I call no man's land between open range and VWAP, which is usually a no trade range for me, but it really does depend on what the big picture is saying as well, of course. And that's all about this and this, including what we see over here. So we've had a break above open range into a negative moving average configuration. Now we've had a break below the open range. And back into the open range. Oh, nothing for me to do here, guys. This looks like I am going to be waiting for the 10 a.m. news. Housing starts. Given how sloppy this is and choppy and how inconsistent these two are together. See that there? We did in fact bounce off of VWAP negative moving averages. We are above, or trying to get above, here on the NASDAQ, while not succeeding on the S&P. And breaking above. I would certainly want to see prices get above here before even remotely considering a long, guys. All right, guys, news in 25 seconds. Five seconds. News is out. A little bit of a flurry there. All right, guys, we're back. Just having some fun with my Telegram group here with this broadening formation. I'll remove that now. News is out. A little bit of a flurry with one candle and now back into the open range. All right, guys, we're back. Just bringing out this marker. Just thinking. Just thinking and measuring. All right, I'm going to let this play for a bit. This is not a live order. I'll let you know when I go live, if I do. If we find some firmness here, then I certainly will not be. All right, guys, so deleting that idea for now. This is feeling very much like a no trade day, given the grind. All right, guys, we're back. I'm going to call it a video here. We're very much in a ranging mess on both the NASDAQ and the S&P here in no man's land, the space between VWAP and open range and just all around that whole general area with intertwining, oscillating, and vacillating around EMAs and what have you. So I'm going to call it a day, guys. Thanks for being here. If anything does show up later, I'll certainly click record, but it is 10:15 a.m. and I'm running out of time. Have a great one. Thanks again, and we'll talk soon.